Good morning, friends. I hope you're well. Today's video is going to be a kind of a, well, I'm not really sure. I wanted to kind of finish all the autumny things that I haven't had a chance to do and kind of just have the last hurrah before the festive period kicks in. So I just thought I would get up to, as you can tell, I can't talk and swipe my face at the same time. I kind of thought that I would try and just take you along with me and see what we can get up to today. I would like to bake. I would like to go for a walk in the graveyard. I've got some things to do at home. I want to set up my new cozy trolley, which I'll tell you about later. And yeah, I just thought I would take you with me and try and see if we can have a really, really nice autumny kind of day. So before we do that, I wanted to have a little chat because, well, I don't know about you, but I always kind of feel like, autumn is just too short. Especially the October. I'm talking about like October autumny days, you know, like the kind of days where it's beautiful outside and there's just autumn leaves everywhere and it's gorgeous and it's, you know, I'm not talking about those days in September where you're like, is it autumn? Is it late summer? No, nobody knows. I'm talking about those kind of beautiful autumn days where the leaves are just stunning. And I kind of feel like those days are short. And there's only so many weekends, especially if you're like me and you work full time. There's only so many weekends and there's only so much time that you have on those weekends, few short hours, because you're a mum and you're doing all the things for all the people. And then before you know it, it's night and then there's no time to do any of the things that you actually wanted to get done. So that, as well as the fact that, well, how do I explain this? Okay, the idea I'm proposing is because I feel that the autumn months are so short, especially October when it's all beautiful out, I kind of feel like I want to extend that. So what I'm proposing is, because I struggle so badly in the winter, I've decided that after Christmas, autumn is coming back to this house. So what does that mean? Basically that we're going to do autumn things. We're going to read autumn books. We're going to do all the autumn things. Okay, do autumn crafts. And yes, outside it may not be beautiful with all the beautiful leaves and all the gorgeous autumnness. However, this house is going back to autumn in winter, because that's my happy time. And for me, winter is not my happy time. I really struggle with winter. So I've kind of decided that that's what I'm going to do. And the way I see it is that way I can kind of bring some happiness back to myself, because, you know, autumn is my happy place. But also that way I can extend and enjoy some of the things that I didn't get a chance to enjoy during autumn because I didn't have enough time. So that is the plan, Stan. That's what we're going to be doing in winter. And I know that there will be winterphiles out there who are looking at this video and are screaming, no, you can't do that. You know, however, my house, my YouTube channel, my rules. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And not only that, I need to find a way to make winter more bearable for myself, because I struggle and I don't want to go back to having the winter blues. I still might, you know, and I have to do all the things that I normally do to curb the winter blues. However, anything I can do to mitigate the severity of the winter blues is what I'm going to do. So that is the winter. Hello, cat. Cat's just come in. So that's what I'm going to be doing this winter. But I don't know about you, but This is going to sound really, really weird. Maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis. I don't know. But maybe I am going through a midlife crisis. And maybe you can kind of tell me if you think I'm going through a midlife crisis. But recently, I have just been feeling like I want to change my entire life. Like everything. I've been doing pretty well with my weight loss. I'm down 10 kilos, which is what, 22 or so pounds. I've got a long way to go, of course I do, but I'm going to stick at it. And it's only going to make my knees feel better, because at some point I'm going to have a knee replacement, because I have bone-on-bone knee arthritis, which was a direct result of a foot break that I had that was diagnosed as a sprain. If you're familiar with Liz Frank injuries, you will know that they are notoriously hard to diagnose, and they usually only happen to sportsmen. Trust me, to hurt my foot in such a way that they think, nah, she's just overweight, that's the reason why she's hurt her foot, and not, that's probably a Liz Frank injury. But like I said, really difficult to diagnose, so it was misdiagnosed at the time, and then when it was diagnosed, by that point I had been compensating, walking funny, and damage was done. So at some point I'm going to have a knee operation. So anyway, I've decided that I just really feel like I need a life overhaul. And it sounds like I'm being a little bit like, wow, Leo, changing everything about your life. But yeah, I kind of feel like I need to. There's so many things that are just getting on my nerves. So many things I've been, struggling with, or aspects of my life. Like clutter, for instance, right? I've just been struggling with clutter. So I kind of want to declutter. Our spare room really, really needs a massive overhaul, and I want to turn it into a really nice, cozy, creative studio / office. That's our one spare room, and the other spare room, I want to sort of remake it and do it into a decent, proper spare room, so we can have guests over at the drop of a hat, rather than me furiously having to try and tidy up in there. And I don't know, I kind of feel like in order for me to romanticize my life, I need to simplify my life, because I kind of feel like romanticizing feels like a schlep, It feels like, in order to romanticize and decorate my bedroom for autumn, I need to go through all these boxes and find the stuff that I want. And I kind of feel like things would be so much simpler if things were simpler, for lack of a better term. I want to enjoy my life more, but I kind of feel like in order to enjoy my life more, I need to simplify more. And I was talking to you about this whole soft life concept, and I kind of feel like making life easier and feel a bit more effortless is going to be simpler if I make my life a little bit simpler. So, to that end, I think that's some of the stuff that you're going to see in this channel in the next months. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you feel like, that's something that you want to see. And I mean, listen, I'm by no means ever going to be that person that is minimalist or, lives a Spartan kind of existence. But I do kind of feel like I need to work smarter, not harder. And I feel like I'm working harder a lot of the time, and that is getting on my absolute nerves. So anyway, in today's video, after my little chat, we're going to be, oh no, I was just about to try and put this in my eye using this camera, and I don't think that's a good idea, because I'm going to land up wearing this on my forehead. So today we're going to do some autumny things. We're going to enjoy some autumny time and have some fun, and I hope that you will stick around and join me for it. See you later. I'm going to put this on in this mirror for my safety. Pumpkin Nights at Tulley's farm was awesome. I felt like I had just stepped into the Harvest Festival at Stars Hollow. There was so much to see and do. There were stalls to buy autumn merchandise. You could buy lots of different shapes and sizes of pumpkins. There was live music playing, good food, fantastic ambience, and the spooky walk was incredible. We really enjoyed that, and we'll definitely be back next year. This graveyard is a place I find myself at often. The church itself is beautiful and historic, and the grounds are just so lovely, especially in autumn. I find in autumn I tend to be introspective. Many people say that they have the same sort of feeling towards the end of the year after Christmas when they start looking toward the new year. But for whatever reason, I find myself being introspective and kind of going over the year in my mind and mulling over my goals, my aspirations in the autumn time. I often come here with a book and a cup of coffee in my travel mug, sometimes to read, sometimes just to enjoy the quiet and the tranquility of being in such a beautiful place. Many people may find it spooky, but I really do find it peaceful. I'm heading home and I'm going to start on the spiced autumn apple cake. I'll leave the recipe in the description box below. I've made a couple of tweaks. I'll let you know about them as I go along. So this spiced apple cake starts off with some dates, and you're going to pop them into a pot with some milk. You can see I'm adding 2 cups here rather than 1 because 1 seemed too little, and I'm glad I did. So what you want to do is you want to heat these through on the stove top. You don't want to boil them, just heat them through so that they can become nice and soft. Then you're going to chop up some apples. I'm going to core them here and remove the middles, and then just slice them up finely so that I can use them to decorate the top of the cake. This cake is incredible. It is kind of like a sticky toffee cake with autumn spices and apple. It's delicious and perfect with a bit of custard or a bit of cream, maybe even warm with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. It will be perfect. I'm just adding a little bit of lemon juice onto the top of the apples just to make sure that they don't go too brown before I can get them into the oven. Next, I'm adding all my dry ingredients. Here I'm actually using some vanilla sugar that I had on hand in the cupboard. I would just use some vanilla pods that were used from a previous baking session. I popped them into a jar with some sugar and left them to infuse. I didn't have any brown sugar, so I'm adding a good hearty tablespoon of some treacle, and then I'm adding my cinnamon and my baking powder along with the flour, some vanilla essence, and then I'm adding in 4 eggs. So once your dates have softened, you want to pop those into the blender with the milk, and you want to just whiz that up until they're nice and smooth. While that cools slightly, I'm going to introduce you to my cozy trolley. My daughter and I are trying to spend mindful evenings working on things that are not screen-based. So we've got all our art supplies out here, some watercolor painting books, colouring in supplies, colouring in books, some board game, and some cards, and even a couple of puzzles to keep us busy in the evenings so that we can be a little bit more intentional about our evenings and have a nice cozy time before bed. We even tried our hands at making some sensory bottles, and these are just delightful to watch and so peaceful and relaxing. So let's get back to our apple cake. I'm going to pop in my softened butter, and I'm going to whiz that up until it's all blended, and then I'm going to start adding in my dry ingredients. I'm just adding in all the dry ingredients and everything that I popped into that bowl, and I'm going to mix it up until it's nice and smooth. It may take some time. You might need to scrape down the side of the blender to make sure that it is all incorporated into your mixture so you don't have any floury bits. Here I've lined a baking dish and I'm pouring in the batter. I'm just going to spread it out evenly across the bottom of the baking dish, and then I'm going to start to top with my apples. You'll notice that I started off very, very gently placing the apples in a pretty pattern until I finally just lost the will with that and just dumped all the apples on the top because it was going to probably take me forever. And then I just popped that into the oven and I cooked it for the recommended amount of time. Next it came time to melt my caramels, my toffees. So I bought the Werther's ones and some others that I had on hand, and I just melted these in a pan. I was going to just use toffees, but then I decided to add a little bit of cream, so I used about 120 ml of cream, and this really helped to give it a really nice toffee butterscotch flavour and made sure there was enough to go over the top of the pudding. Once the cake was baked, I had it out the oven, and while it was still hot, I poured over the toffee butterscotch sauce and made sure I got it in every nook and cranny on top of those gorgeously caramelized apples. This is the most delicious, delicious cake. You can have it hot like we did with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, or you could serve it cold with a cup of tea. Either way, it's delicious and well worth the effort. I just wanted to thank you so much for watching this video, for coming along with me on my lovely autumn day as a last hurrah before the festivities. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a future upload. And do consider joining the family by subscribing to this channel. Until next time, friends, keep calm and be cozy.